All right, everybody, we are back. Oh, didn't anticipate that. Fresh takes, Russo and Felice. I am Paul Russo. Across from me, as always, man myth, off-day legend himself, Nick Felice. Nick, how you doing? How you feeling? Definitely looking better than when I last saw you on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Always nice to have a day off so we can get this not get this podcast out of the way, but get it started at 8 o'clock is nice. But yeah, it's another big episode. I think we're finally starting to get into that groove now where it's just college football, NFL, picks, talks, predictions, recaps. Just feeling everything out.
Yeah. The fall is definitely probably our prime, because we got, obviously, like you say, you got football, we got baseball down the stretch, basketball's getting going here in, a month-ish, give or take, right? Same with hockey, auto racing, NASCAR, IndyCar, everything like that entering its home stretch, so it's a lot to talk about most weeks. Maybe not necessarily a lot, but we have our picking, our grocery store grabbing of various topics we can go after.
And just, a year and a half ago, we didn't have that, so.
We didn't, but yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, well, a year and a half, yeah.
A year and a half ago, yeah.
Talking about our favorite cereals again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good start. Hard to believe. I mean, it's not hard to believe, but it's already week 2 of the NFL and week 3 of college football. It just goes by so fast, so. You got to take it all in. Syracuse had a tough one the other day, Saturday afternoon. Paul, you were there. How was your first experience, right, of the new dome?
Yeah, back in the dome. Well, we'll save it for when we discuss the college. Is that fair?
Oh, we're starting with the NFL?
Well, yeah. We're gonna start with the NFL. Here, I'll pull that graphic up. NFL, college football, technically week 2. And then we'll do a little MLB talk to wrap things up, and a special little tie-in with that.
How great it is?
Well, no, it's always great, but Nick is giving me a moment of self-indulgence at the end of our MLB talk. So,
all right,
as we sometimes refer to it. I can give a little bit of my dome review because it's not football. Yeah. So you haven't been inside the renovated dome, right?
No.
You didn't have any? Okay. It's definitely, exteriorly there's not much anything different. Obviously you have the roof supports, and you can kind of see the different stuff with that. But overall, exteriorly, nothing different. Once you get inside, definitely see some different stuff right away. Fresh paint, definitely some new pictures, the pictures I'm talking about, in the hallways in the concourse area, right? So definitely some new pictures there. Concession stands pretty much are all brand new. Kind of like a self-serve type situation. Grab what you want. Obviously, each concession stand a little bit different, as it always has been. Other than that, bathrooms, at least the ones I were in, remained unchanged. Still have the troughs.
I don't mind the troughs.
Yeah, I know you don't, but I do mind the troughs. And you can think
that's because I don't go in the troughs. I go in the stalls.
Same. Unless I'm the only one in the bathroom.
I probably haven't peed in the troughs in a while.
Or unless it's one of those nobody's there, I can go quick in the trough, and
Now, what was the first thing you bought to drink and eat?
So, eat-wise was popcorn.
Not a dome dog.
Quick. I got a dome dog later on, but popcorn was first. By the way, the dome dogs just don't feel the same. They're not in the wrapper anymore. They're in a box. Oh. Just not the same.
Speaking of hot dogs, we got to go to a Syracuse game still.
I think this is their last week. Or second to last. I could be wrong. We need to check.
Yeah,
we need to
schedule. Someone pull up the schedule.
Yeah, we'll work on that. I know I can't go this Thursday. I have to go. I'm a little bit busy.
Maybe think of it. They got good hot dogs.
I gotta go pick up my tux in Rochester.
They got good hot dogs there.
And then
to drink.
Drink was Minky Boodle. You may be wondering, Paul, what's a Minky Boodle? Well, Minky Boodle is one of my favorite beers. I'm a big sour guy. I'm a big sour beer guy. I love sour beers. Minky Boodle is a raspberry sour by Thin Man Brewery. And they just so happen to have it at the Carrier Dome at one of the craft beer stands that they still have there. So had a couple cans of that. Ace's beer, I recommend you try if you have the opportunity to get it and try it. Obviously, it depends. I know some people just aren't sour people. I get that. I'm the same way with IPAs. I like IPAs. I get it. But first beer was not a Labatt, not a Bud Light, Coors Light. It was Minky Boodle.
Interesting.
So
That's cool.
big fan of it.
I've never had it.
One quick thing. The scoreboard, I can't say new scoreboard. It's the new, because I never had one really. They only had the American flags in the center, but the new video jumbotron in the center really, and I need to tread lightly here because it was their first game with people in the stands to that level. I know at the end of lacrosse last year, they will have people in the stands for that. So I will tread lightly here. There's a lot to be desired for what they can do with it.
You don't like it?
No. I like it. I'm talking graphically, what they're putting up on the screen-wise. There's a lot of room that they're just not using. For instance, during the game, when the game is going on, they only had, obviously, the live feed and then timeouts left and the score. No time, no downs, yards to go, nothing like that. I would really love, because they have those on the runners still on where the upper deck, obviously, and that type of deal. I mean, I think you have an opportunity to do some some really cool things with that. From a, say, even statistical side of things, obviously analytics play a pretty big part in this, so I think that'd be pretty cool. I think, honestly, and this is where I think New York kind of probably needs to revisit this a little bit. I think it'd be really, really cool to have some updated betting odds or something like that up on the screen. Maybe not just for, obviously, like the Syracuse game, but, excuse me, for instance, we were looking big time, and we'll get into this game a little bit, at the Oregon and Ohio State game, for instance, Pitt and Tennessee. But stuff like that would be really cool, I think.
Yeah, especially.
Other than that, they improved the sound system, really crisp sound system.
Same voice?
Same voice of the Syracuse Orange. Yeah, and I'm not going to discuss it really, obviously, at this part, but big ups to the student section showing out for the Syracuse game.
Same spot?
Same spots. They had 2 overflow sections going. Right. So, ultimately, you hope that carries over. It does not work out well this week. Syracuse hosting Albany. So I don't think you're going to probably get nearly as many students there.
Is that Friday night?
No. Friday night's next week against Liberty.
Liberty.
Yeah. Which I think you have the opportunity with that to have a really great student section going for that, but we'll see. I think this weekend we'll take the wins out of the sails.
You gotta leave right after work to go to
that? No, it's an 8 p.m. kickoff, so I think I'm working a 6 that night, so probably. But
next Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
if we make it that far.
So it sounds like it's definitely improved.
I'm intrigued to see what it's like now with basketball, obviously, but being a football season ticket holder with that, it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, what are they going to do with basketball? Doesn't the scoreboard go across the whole football field?
So yeah, no, it's in the center, but it's on a system that can lower down. Likewise, obviously, with football, raise back up, but it lowers down, so it will probably be.
Do they have to center it?
No, it's already centered.
I mean, it's centered with the court, though.
No, they will not move it. It will be like, I think, probably what.
That's cool.
Where where the bleachers come out from the one end zone and down. I wonder if it will take the place of that scoreboard on the back of that.
Yeah.
Where they just lower it down, which I think would be pretty cool. But
the scoreboard is old though.
Yeah.
Like that definitely.
But they redid a lot of things. New banners. new paint, even on the inside where you see the field and everything like that. So
The real question,
job well done.
The only new question I have,
Mm-hmm.
will we see a new quarterback?
Well, we'll get to that. I have takes about that. So
If
we'll
we
get to
don't
that.
see a new quarterback, we're going to see a new head coach.
Well, I think that's happening no matter what at this point. So we'll see. We'll get to that, though, after week 1 of the NFL. The NFL is back. Interesting week 1,
It was a
to
tough week
say
one
the
to predict.
least. It was. I did not get my parlay right thanks to the Minnesota Vikings. My main parlay, anyway. But it's good to have football back. It was good to have Red Zone back going again. I think this season, if week 1's any indication, this season's going to be pretty crazy. And that's all you can hope for with football, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously, tough sledding for my beloved Washington football team this week. Tough sledding for a lot of teams around the league this week. I think the big storyline, it's something I want to discuss, kind of just get over with out of the way quick, was Aaron Rodgers' struggles. Interesting kind of conspiracy theories thinking that he's sabotaging his own game. And I think, he has the personality to sabotage his game and the team's game to a degree. 5 interceptions worth, I don't think so.
You think he's losing on purpose?
No, I don't think he's losing on purpose, but I don't think he's giving his personal 100%. At least it kind of didn't seem that way in certain spots.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
It's tough because when you're the quarterback, arguably you can make the case that the quarterback in its given sport is the most important position in sports, right? Given the type of sport it plays into and everything that has to go on with that. The quarterback is the most important position. We know the type of play Aaron Rodgers can put up. I've always thought personally he's a little bit overrated, but you have to give respect where credit's due with him.
Overrated for how high the people put him.
Yes. But you do have to put you'd have to put respect for what he does and how he has played his career. That being said, there was a lot to be desired from him this past week. All due respect to Jameis Winston in the world. I've been one of his probably supporters throughout his NFL-ish career. Definitely don't think he's as bad as people think he is. Kind of like the inverse of probably what Rodgers is to me, where I think Jameis is probably underrated. And no disrespect to the Saints. They're still a tough team. I don't think they're going to be what they have been the past couple of years, but they're still a tough team. But this was a game that the Packers should have won. They were borderline a full touchdown favorite by the end of by the time the lines closed. Facing a Saints team that's been displaced, unfortunately. Thoughts and prayers to the people of New Orleans still in the Gulf. Obviously, this is again an awful situation what they're going through. But you're going up against a displaced team. Borderline, like I said, touchdown favorites by the end of this, and a lot of people's picks just to be Super Bowl champions this year. So, like I said, I don't think he threw the game, but I don't think he was giving his own 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely I'm not shocked that the Saints won the game, but I am shocked how they won the game.
Yeah.
It was 38-3. I've been a big Winston fan. I had him on my fantasy team a couple years ago, a few years now. And sure, he throws interceptions, but he knows how to sling the ball into the end zone. And it's impressive what he did. He threw 5 touchdowns and only 148 passing yards. I think that's unbelievable. That's unheard of. But yeah, there's definitely. I would not be surprised. Rodgers. I am actually certain that he's not going 100% out there, but I wouldn't be surprised that he's throwing the games. I would not be surprised by that.
Like I said, I don't think throwing's the right term, but it's one of those I don't think he's giving his 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, definitely double think the Packers now. I don't think you can put them as one of the favorites in the NFC anymore, obviously, after that. The West on both sides are tough. 4-0, both divisions. Obviously, I think you could really get a, like I said, what I say last week. I said it on the preview show that the AFC West could have all 4 teams, at least 3 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the NFC West could have that same thing. I was right a couple things.
It's funny you mentioned that though quickly before, because you had the whole entire NFC North lose. They're all 0-1, and you had everybody in the NFC West win. They're all 1-0.
And in NFC West.
The NFC did it as well? I didn't know that.
The whole West,
and so
1-0.
Look at that. Stat in your face.
The whole West, 1-0. So I was right about a couple things. I was not right about the Jets. The Jets did hang around for a little bit there.
Yeah.
They definitely hung around. I know this podcast, I know there's a lot of probably Bills fans watching this podcast, but I am pretty happy that Buffalo lost to Pittsburgh.
That makes 2 of us.
On Sunday.
The only time I've ever rooted for Pittsburgh.
And, it's already a wake-up call for Bills fans, week 1. I don't know. They got a division that you still can win, but don't sleep on the Dolphins. I was sleeping on them last week. I wouldn't sleep on the Dolphins now. But, yeah, there's a lot of good teams. I think we got an NFL finally where there's more good teams than there are bad teams. Would you agree?
Wait, which has more bad teams?
Probably all the other sports. That probably has more bad teams than good teams. Maybe not the NBA. MLB, definitely, I think. Because I think the MLB definitely has more bad teams because I don't think the Cardinals are very good.
Okay, now I understand what you're...
Yeah, there's more bad teams than there are good teams. NFL, do you think there's more good teams than there are bad teams?
I mean, I feel like in the NFL, obviously this is kind of like the way it is in every sport, but I feel like in the NFL, maybe this is actually probably football in general, like if you're bad, you show that you're bad. Like...
Because you just rattling off some of those 0-1 teams.
I mean, they're like hockey, the NHL. If you're bad, you kind of show that you're bad too. But I feel like that talent gap is a lot closer.
Well, the thing with sports,
NBA. NBA. Once you get through that, once you get to that talent gap, some of those teams just fall off fast. MLB, probably not the best year to be making that argument with the MLB, in all honesty, Nick. Just the way some of these teams have ended up shaking out.
Yeah, I think there are more mediocre teams.
Yeah, and then back to football. I'd say actually probably the NBA has more bad teams, but I know where you're kind of going from.
Yeah, I mean...
The NBA, maybe I'm just thinking of it from the NBA perspective, just where that talent gap actually sits at that point, and then after it just falling off.
The only reason I used to always say the NBA had more bad teams, but right now I think there's just a lot of up and coming teams.
It's tough to say in the NFL because we're only 1 week into the season, and likewise, if you want to make that case to football in general, we're only technically 2 weeks into college football, so it's tough. Any sport,
you're gonna have the middle of the pack around 500. That's just how it works.
Well, yeah.
That's how standings and games work. Mm-hmm. But
numbers don't lie.
But there's just comes a time where those teams in the middle, are they really that good, or are they worse than you think? And I think the NFL is in a good spot right now. I think there's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of good 0-1 teams, Paul. I mean, you got the Browns. You could say they're a good team, 0-1. Cowboys, 0-1. Packers, 0-1. Mm-hmm. Maybe even Vikings, 0-1.
Washington, 0-1.
Washington, we're supposed to be really good with that defense. 0-1.
Have you mentioned Browns, Bills? There's a lot, obviously, but I'm saying good team inherently with that.
A lot of good 0-1 teams out there that we thought, and then you put Bengals in that situation, 1-0.
Titans.
Titans.
Titans on the 0-1 side.
0-1. and you put the Bengals like them 1-0, and you're like, maybe they're better than people think. So 1-0, I'm certain is not that good. Is the Houston Texans because they beat the Jaguars. But
I think the Houston team's a little bit better than people think.
I will
just a little bit.
Tyrod's been in the league before. This is
they don't have they're one of those teams that they don't have like a superstar, but they're all kind of good enough that
they're in first place by themselves.
Yeah.
Colts
Gotta win.
0-1.
Gotta win.
A lot of surprise 0-1s, let's be honest with you. But that's just how the week 1 shaped up. There's a lot of great games. It was tough to pick. I don't know. It's interesting. What I'm taking away from this, this week 1 in itself, I think the Chiefs are still the favorite in the AFC.
Ooh, I don't disagree, but I think this week showed how close the talent gap is to them now in the AFC.
I think the Browns are one of those teams, though.
Especially, obviously, but I think it shows that clearly the Chiefs' defense needs to, step it up a little bit.
Yes,
that's always been their kind of like weakish spot anyway during this run.
Offense.
But my theme with them last year was that defense bends but doesn't break, which is what you need in that situation. That defense went straight to snap mode on Sunday. I don't know, be interesting with them, I think.
Well, it makes the Chiefs
because you mentioned how good the FC West is. The whole West, but the FC West, the Raiders obviously last night putting up the fight that they did. Chargers, kind of like we said. Not a knock on the Giants, but I don't know if it's an exactly good indication of how good the Broncos will be, but Teddy Two Gloves look pretty good overall in the grand scheme of things. I don't think any of them will beat the Chiefs still, but
No, it's not. The NFC, the difference between the AFC West and the NFC West, the AFC West has a clear-cut favorite to win the division. The NFC West is wide open.
Yeah.
Literally any of them can win it in the NFC West. It's just it's going to see how it plays out this year. But those two divisions are just absolutely loaded. I mean, you mentioned the Broncos. The Broncos are, they could be a halfway decent team with Bridgewater, who's been in the league for a while.
Yeah.
But they just don't compare to some of these other teams in these two divisions.
No.
Same with the Raiders.
Yep.
You could say they're the 7th best team out of those 8 teams. Mm-hmm. And you saw them last night, very good team.
Yep.
Waller, really good.
Mm-hmm. Best player I've ever coached.
Darren Waller.
That's what John Gruden says.
Yeah.
I can't
believe how many times he throws him a game. It's crazy. I think he had 19 targets or something like that.
That's the way tight ends are, though. No, I mean,
if
you're good enough anyway.
Obviously, you can't panic especially with the extra week this year. 0-2, 0-3 aren't as drastic if you started that, but you definitely don't want to. I think it's like 0-4 is the first one of the O's that
I don't know.
that no one's ever made.
Personally speaking, I'd like to get a win in the first 3 weeks. You go into week 4 0-3. I don't like the mindset.
No,
that's a tough mindset.
It's must win.
Yeah,
just must win.
Speaking of must wins,
you got to get back to 500.
No, go ahead.
You have to get back to 500 because most likely you're not going to make the playoffs unless you're 500.
Yeah. Speaking of must wins, it's prediction time. Thursday night football this week, Nick. We get our teams all the way with early. The Giants make the trip down to Landover to play Washington, who will be without Fitzpatrick for the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, when I think of this game, I think of what's the ratings going to be, and then when I think of ratings, I think of. Do you think
the main thing is you got to remember with the ratings thing? These are both very big fan bases.
I know.
So.
But the point I'm trying to make is, do you think ESPN2 ratings got more than ESPN and ABC last night? With the Mannings.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
With the Mannings over the actual.
I'm still saying no.
No, because
there are enough people and this isn't a knock on, for instance, our dads, who both obviously are sports people who know their stuff, but they're fairly traditionalist. They don't want to listen to Payne and Eli mess around and tell you about whatever the football equivalent of WRC Plus would be.
Yeah.
You know.
And all restaurants and bars in the
Yeah,
world, in the country will have it on. Mm-hmm. You'll never beat the actual telecast. ESPN2 will never beat any telecast than ESPN or ABC, but I'm going to say it was pretty high.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Anyway, this game, I got the G-Men getting their first win of the season. I remember one time we did.
My heart with this really wants to say Washington.
Where is it?
Washington. It's in Washington. It's a home game.
I remember one time we bet our teams and we bet the opposite.
Yeah, my heart wants to say I think this is going to be like normally you know me, Nick. I never bet unders. I don't know what the opening line is on this game. I haven't seen it, but I guarantee this thing is going to not be a high scoring affair. I'm going to have to pick with my head here. I'm going Giants. I think.
Interesting.
Washington in my lifetime never gets out of the gate good. And this year especially now, I just don't see how. First game on Sunday, the Raiders make the trip east to play the Steelers. Battle of 1-0 teams. What's interesting, the Steelers won admittedly pretty ugly overall. I think on paper they're probably the better team. I'm going to go with the Raiders, though. Just the way they played last night. They're kind of riding a nice little higher wave, I think, than Pittsburgh. So I'll go with the Raiders.
Never a huge fan of West Coast coming east.
Yeah. Especially on what is really actually a short turnaround.
Mm-hmm. I like the Steelers.
Can't say I blame you, though. The Texans make an early trip north to Cleveland this year to play the Browns. Saw this game last year in November.
Texans, Browns?
Yeah.
I got the Browns.
Browns as well. But that one might be an ugly game for a different reason.
Texans coming down to earth this week.
Interesting matchup. Another West team coming east. 49ers at the Eagles.
Some reason.
Me and you are on the same plane on this one, I think.
I think the Eagles win this.
Same. It's a really weird gut feeling about that.
Yeah, I have a gut feeling the Eagles will win this one. Because I'm not sold on the Niners and what they're doing there.
Same.
Let Lance be the guy.
It's not so much let Lance be the guy. I could care less about who's the guy. Just settle on one and kind of go with him here and kind of see what happens. The dual threat thing, and this is something I will talk anyway about more in the college aspect of it, but dual threat I don't like. The dual thing I don't like.
Chicago's doing it too.
Yeah.
I got Philly.
Broncos at the Jaguars.
Broncos 2-0?
This is me and you are thinking around the same plane again on this one, I feel like. I'm going Broncos.
I can't go with Jacksonville this early.
That offensive line looked really rough, especially against the Texans defense that was not highly regarded.
I think the Broncos are going to be 2-0. Yeah, Broncos. They have to be.
This one might be where we finally split after about 5 straight matchups in the grand scheme of things. Saints at Panthers.
I like the Saints.
Okay, I'm going Saints too. Personally, for some reason, I thought you were going to take the Panthers.
No. I'm a big Winston guy, and I think they got something special going there. I think they've improved.
The Panthers? The Panthers?
No, the Saints.
Oh, I wouldn't say they've improved. We probably see as improvement because they're probably better than we both thought they were going to be, and we saw the gate.
I think Drew Brees hold them down a little bit.
Big early season matchup now at this point between AFC East opponents. Bills at the Dolphins.
Ooh.
I'm going to do it, I think. Give me the fish.
Why, Paul?
There it is.
I know I'm not the biggest Bills fan, but they're pretty good. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. They still need a running back, I would think, unless they let Zach Moss take over. But
they sat him. They did not make him active week 1.
Yeah, they gotta let him play. But I just don't see the Bills 0-2. So I think Josh Allen goes down to Miami.
I think Tua impressed me on Sunday. Might be buying a little bit too much into that, but telling you, that Dolphin team, I predicted the Dolphins to win the division this year. I think they're just better than the Bills at this point.
Might be sleeping on them, but I'm taking Bills.
I don't blame you. Rams at the Colts, 1 p.m. kickoff.
I love what the Rams are doing.
Yep.
I'm taking the Rams.
Give me Kershaw's best friend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Stafford, right? Yeah.
Another big in division AFC East matchup. Patriots at the Jets.
Mac Jones is getting his first win this week. I saw what the Jets looked like, and I was like,
it's not great.
It's not good. I'm not liking the division pick
Yeah.
anymore. But hey, you never know. Maybe they'll shock me this week. It's early, but I think Mac Jones.
We're
gets
in agreement there. Oh man, this is a rough game right here. Bengals at the Bears. So I'm gonna have to caveat it with this. I feel like if I knew who the Bears would stick with,
if they're doing the duel,
this decision for me would be completely different. I'm going Bengals, but like even if Dalton was starting and staying in the game the whole time, I'm going Bears.
the fact that they're doing the dual thing makes me think Bengals, but I just don't see the Bengals 2-0 and a tough road game.
Yeah.
Bears, I know they didn't look that great defensively. I think they figured it out this week and maybe get to Burrow a couple times. I still think the Bears win this game, regardless.
First of the 405s, the Vikings at the Cardinals. Rough game for the Vikings. Looking to bounce back, but I don't see it happening this week. I'm going Cards.
I think Cardinals win too. I think Murray outplays Cousins.
Falcons at the Buccaneers. I think
Falcons.
We're both, you're going Falcons.
No, I did learn that the Falcons are bad.
Yeah, they're. I tried warning you.
They're bad.
I tried.
Matt Ryan, poor guy, but no, the Buccaneers. They're gonna win this game.
All right, 425s. There's two of
You
them.
want Falcons?
No, Bucks. First of the two 425 games, Titans at Seahawks. Titans again looking to bounce back. I don't see it happening though. I'm going the Seahawks.
That's a tough first couple games for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Playing this division.
Same with the Titans.
I'm taking Seattle just because they're home.
Cowboys at the Chargers.
I like the Chargers in this game.
Same.
I will always root against the Cowboys no matter what, but I legit like Herbert to go off in this game and get the Cowboys 0-2.
All right. Sunday Night Football. You waited all day for this game. Chiefs at the Ravens.
Good game.
Definitely a game of probably the weekend, in all honesty.
I think the Ravens lose another tough one. I'm in prime time.
I'm with you. I'm going Chiefs.
All right.
This is where I definitely know we're going to split. Monday night this week, Detroit at Green Bay.
I got a hunch he's throwing these games. I'm going with my Lions.
So we aren't splitting. I'm going Detroit too. All right.
I think he's throwing these games. What happened?
This stabbed myself with a pen.
Man, you're really excited about the Lions.
Oh God.
Dan Campbell really getting to you.
Ow.
You make it?
No. Call an ambulance. Call an ambulance.
Yeah, I got the Lions.
All right.
But I would not be surprised if the Packers won.
Well, yeah. Oh, God, that hurt.
You're right.
No. Week 2 of college football. Cuse loses the dome opener. Dual quarterbacks. Here we go. Excuse me. Nick. If you're doing a dual quarterback, if you see whichever quarterback you started, doesn't matter in the Syracuse situation, whether it was Schrader or DeVito, if you saw that starter was getting into their groove and hitting their stride, you wouldn't pull them, right?
Nope. I wouldn't do the duel.
I agree. Novel concept. So what does Babers do? DeVito finds his groove. Well, let's put Schrader in. And then what does he do to Schrader? Once he finds his groove, puts DeVito back in. He needs to figure out what he wants to do. All right. At this point, I could care less. DeVito showed signs that he can do this. I don't know what he's doing. Like I've probably been the biggest Dino apologist on the planet at this point. Like, I don't know what he's doing at this point. I just don't. Like,
his job's on the line.
Yeah. Just what's sad is, and there are a couple other factors playing into this why I had to leave early anyway from the game. But like, Rutgers got that touchdown, and we were just out. Like, we knew what was going on. Like, you knew what was going to happen. And by the way, the first time Syracuse's defense has played that well in like 5 years, and the offense can do anything. The defense has played extremely well the first 2 weeks. It's probably actually going to be their strong point of the season is their defense, and they aren't supporting them as usual. Our bright spot on offense at this point is Tucker, the running back, who's great, love him, but until we get this quarterback situation figured out, and it cannot go on past this week. Albany is your last chance to do this. Figure out which one you want to go with from this point forward and get it, and that's it. Because you can't go in, not to interrupt, you can't go in to your last, you can't go into the rest of the regular season where all you're playing is FBS opponents against a Liberty team that beat you last year, that has shown that they can at minimum compete with Power 5 teams. You can't go in doing that mindset. You cannot.
It's almost like he doesn't
against a pro quarterback in Liberty. Liberty's got a pro quarterback.
It's almost like he doesn't want to let one of them down. It's like he promised DeVito he's going to play.
He's let DeVito down anyway. It doesn't make a difference. Just figure out what you want to go with. Like, it drives me up a wall. We have Dino, because of this whole entire quarterback situation that he's put himself in, he's driven away 2 other top recruits quarterback-wise that we've gotten that have been at minimum 3 stars that they've transferred out. Because he has, and I don't mean this to sound bad the way I'm going to phrase it, because he's messed around with DeVito so much. Like, there's just no way around it. And I said it last year, or well, really it was 2 years ago, when DeVito got roughed up by Clemson. It messed up his psyche, and the way Babers treated him afterwards did not help. He was not helping. He made it worse. And we are now at a very important crossroads for Syracuse football, and really, in my mind, borderline the athletic department here, because they got their own mess going on with the women's team that they messed up bad, and that's a different discussion. But if Wild Hack wants some steam off his back, get a little bit of waste from what's ever going on there, like, he'll figure something out with his football team. But I mean, being a Syracuse football fan is probably driven me up a wall, like fully up the wall. Like, they just get it figured out. Like, I'm sick. At least Washington on the football side of things with me here. At least Washington has showed me signs that they can kind of do stuff every now and then. Right? Syracuse, year in, for the most part, year in and year out, outside of like 2 years with Doug Marrone, has now at this point proven that they cannot do that. Like, I'm just sick of it. Like, like, I'm in year whatever, technically 3 of being a season ticket holder. Like, it's just figure it out. And I know people around me who have been here longer have put up with worse, and finally they're just at their end. I'm at year 3, and I'm at my end with being a season ticket holder over this. Like, I'm at my end at year 3. There are people here well in double digits that I know are finally just like, this is probably going to be my last year at this point.
At least you got your Tampa Bay Lightning.
And, yeah, I mean...
You know, the Schrader guy even said when he came, decided he was going to come here. He said, "I'm not coming here to sit the bench." And we've seen DeVito; it doesn't work. So let this guy play. Give him a shot at Albany. Like, you don't have to do this dual thing. Give him the start against Albany and see what he does.
I don't want to do a dual thing against Albany. Like, that's not what I meant by it. I just meant, like, this week is your last week of it. Like, you don't have an option after this.
Like, you want to make things worse? Lose to Albany this week.
If they mess around and lose to Albany, you will see me. Oh, you'll hear me from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yes. But that's really it I have on Cuse. But, my Notre Dame survived against Toledo on Peacock.
Rockets.
Texas A&M survived against Colorado. Ohio State fell to Oregon.
Without Oregon's arguably best player being hurt.
Yeah. Notre Dame's two rivals went at it. Stanford beat USC. Would like to see USC win, and now USC's a mess.
Clay, yeah, I'm about to say Clay's gone. Clay Helton's gone.
And now they need a coach. And
which, by the way, you know the name I heard pop up with that. By the way, this is a Fresh Takes insider, possibly. Kansas City offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy.
Really? Is he from there?
I don't know.
He said he was intrigued, but I missed my 5-way parlay. Even though I put Notre Dame money line on there, it got a little sketchy just to add $30. But I lost my 5-way parlay because of Iowa State minus 4.5. I just thought game day, rivalry, home team, they'd be up for it. I was wrong. Iowa's better. Iowa's got a shot to win the Big Ten. They do. I think they can win the Big Ten. Michigan's better than people think. Even though Washington's bad. Washington is not good. Florida State, heartbreaking. Did you see how Florida State lost?
Oh, that was tremendous. What do you mean heartbreaking? That was great.
It was heartbreaking to Florida State.
When did you become a softie for them?
I didn't become softy. I'm just trying to make Notre Dame look better, is what I'm saying. And it's not working. USC lost.
Just join the ACC already.
Cincinnati lose?
No.
No. They're like the last team. North Carolina lost. That was who else lost. So the schedule, it's not looking that tough anymore. So play Purdue this week. Win that. We'll move on. Clemson, Alabama, they're still there. Georgia, Oklahoma, Iowa, Oregon. It's gonna be tight. Not gonna see a lot of losses.
This might have been the two biggest playoff implication weeks we've had in college football in some time, though.
Yeah, just definitely to start the season too. But I'm sure there's gonna be some great games. What are the key games this weekend?
Yeah, key games this week. Let me scroll down a little bit quick here, so that way I can get on the right page. There we go. Well, we usually played this game last year, and I don't know where they're going because they usually announce it technically Wednesday. Game day this week, I think the safe bet would be number 1 Alabama at number 11 Florida. Safe bet, probably. If not, might be number 22 Auburn at number 10 Penn State, or maybe number 19 Arizona State, number 23 BYU. I don't know, but I'm guessing Alabama Florida is going to be where the game day goes. I just named a couple of those bigger games, right? Obviously, it's a pretty big game, in my opinion, for Notre Dame. Purdue, I don't think they're going to be where they were last year, but they'll probably be a little bit pesky, I think.
Notre Dame's game's been scary so far.
Other than that, there's not a ton of, I guess, really jump at you games overall this week. Virginia, UNC kind of pops at you, but not really. I think, this is more or less a game people are tuning to see if UNC loses.
Who's Oregon play this week?
Oregon plays Stony Brook.
At Stony Brook?
No.
What time's Syracuse on?
Noon. They're a noon game. I don't even know what channel they're on. I think that's ACC Plus or whatever the hell.
Oh, yeah. Extra, yeah.
Yeah. Nebraska, Oklahoma, but that's just big for the old-timey sake. I think Oklahoma's probably going to mop the floor with Nebraska.
Yeah.
If this might be the biggest game in New York, Coastal at Buffalo. But just for the fact that the Shants are really good again, UB's should be at least a contender in the MAC. So
yeah.
I wouldn't put that game on upset alert technically, but that'll be an interesting game.
When's the MAC go to weekdays?
I think a couple weeks. Once they get into like league play regularly and stuff like that.
Cool.
Maction, baby. Love it. All right. Let's talk a little bit of baseball before we get out of here. We're MLB entering its fall run. Giants clinched a playoff spot last night. Watch the end of that game. This was really the only thing on. The Yankees continue to struggle. Baseball's chaos. Vladdy and Shohei are just going after the home run crown. It's been great. The NL is just, it's been the fun league, I think, this year. It just has been. It's crazy. The Mariners are a playoff team? Who would have thought? Maybe me, because I kind of predicted it. Nick, do you know who has the best record in the AL Central, by the way, since the All-Star break?
Twins.
Oh, no, it's so close wrong. The Kansas City Royals.
Really?
Yeah. So, just chaos. It's going to be a fun stretch run, I think, in baseball here the next few weeks.
Yeah, Yankees, it's been wild.
Yeah, Yankees need...
They were struggling, then they looked like they were in by good. And
Now they're up 5-0 right now against Baltimore, but we'll see how well that actually shakes out.
I'm just talking about this race. Like
That's either way.
They were looking like they were going to be in with ease, and now all of a sudden they're back in the hunt, in the mix with a bunch of teams. You gotta like their chances, over like the Mariners and the A's and even the Blue Jays who've played well. Then there's the Red Sox, Yankees there. So it's just those five, right? I think.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, and the Mariners.
It's hard to pick the Mariners because they haven't been there in so long, but that's who I'll be rooting for. They do have a big series with the Red Sox right now, so it's going to be tight. The National League race is tight, even though I don't think any of those teams are really good. I've never seen a team like that. Was it the Dodgers, like 20 games or something like that, up on the second wild card?
Good news, by the way. The Fighting Fish, Miami's finally out of the cellar in the East.
Who's in last?
Nationals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how many games ahead the Dodgers are of the fifth seed, and the Reds are still there. The Padres, the Cardinals. So you got some good wild card races. They put that in back in 2011 for a reason, to keep these tight races going, and I'm all for it. Division races, they just haven't been as close as they have, back in the day. I mean, what really division race are we looking at? Giants, Dodgers, and that's it. The National East, maybe?
Well, the East is, that for the opposite reason, almost in a sense, right? Because look at how great the Giants and Dodgers have been, and the East is, the Mets are in it at 5.5 back as a below 500 team.
How many back are the Phillies?
4.5. So
it's like close to the Astros. How many back are the Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox? Isn't it like 9 or something like that?
So they are of the Astros?
Of the Rays.
Oh, of the Rays? Yeah. 8, 9, and 9.
Yeah, I was saying the Astros is kind of like the East, that kind of
gotcha
race, but the Centrals are pretty much locked up. Those aren't really tight races at all. But that's what happens after 162 games. You spread out. The MVP race in the American League is getting a little interesting, I would say. It's kind of getting like that Miggy, Mike Trout. Only fitting that it is another Angels player in Shohei Ohtani in the mix. And then you got Triple Crown candidate Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's getting like that. It's a little different because Ohtani does pitch as well, so you got to put that in factor. So it's definitely different than trying to make a campaign for Trout than it was for Miggy. Vladdy's got to win the Triple Crown. If he does that, I give it to Triple Crown every time. And especially if he gets his team in the playoffs. Ohtani not going to the playoffs. So that's interesting. Ryan Braun retired today. So, I don't know what to say about him.
I was about to say, what's your opinion on Ryan Braun?
My honest opinion? No. He was good, but he cheated. And he clearly showed it. And he just looked bad, appealing it, winning the appeal, and then getting caught again. It was bad. And then he just, after he stopped doing the steroids, wasn't the same player. And not to mention he was kind of a douchebag a little bit. At least Prince was a good guy. Prince Fielder. I didn't like either one of them, but yeah, I don't know. Good, happy retirement.
Yeah. So, Nick, should I do my moment of self-indulgence, as we call it?
Yeah, let's see it.
All right,
let's hear
fair
it.
enough. So tomorrow is, I know you probably for sure know, but some people might not know. Tomorrow is Roberto Clemente Day in the MLB. Obviously, I feel like mostly everybody knows the story about Roberto at this point.
Who?
Arguably, the best pure right fielder of all time. Probably the best defensive right fielder of all time. 12 consecutive Gold Gloves. Career leader in assists by an right fielder at this point. An overall great human being. Let alone his accolades, right? 12 consecutive Gold Gloves, 4 batting crowns, MVP, 2-time World Series champion. He hit 3 triples in a game. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, he hit 3 triples in a game. Let that sink in.
Wow.
A true civil rights icon in his own right. What he did for the minority citizens and specifically Latin American community members in the city of Pittsburgh and across America. Tremendous, especially for him at a time where even in his home territory of Puerto Rico, he was discriminated against because of his complexion. What he was able to do for the community is absurd. It's absurd. To put it bluntly, I've been saying this now for the past couple of years. It's time to retire 21 from the game of baseball, much like what we've done with Jackie Robinson, 42. Overall, what Roberto had to deal with, what Roberto did, both on and off the field, in my mind, it equals to what Jackie Robinson did. The fact of the matter is, as we get further away, and I realized this when we made our trip to Pittsburgh this summer. They happened to be honoring the 71 team, their 50th anniversary winning the World Series title. And obviously the most standing ovation, there were a couple individuals who had standing ovations, but the one that did last the longest still was Roberto Clemente's kids who were there. But you notice that there were younger people who weren't in it like other people were. Roberto Clemente is still just a massive icon for Latin players, specifically Puerto Rican players within the game of baseball. There is a reason why you do not find any players from Puerto Rico, from the Dominican Republic, from Cuba, from Venezuela, from Colombia, from Panama, Mexico, the list goes on. They do not wear the number 21 for a reason.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that.
It's time that we retire 21.
Well said.
It's been time. We need to get done in sooner than later. Obviously, his kids are getting older, but his widow, she's getting up there. His teammates, his best friends. We saw it in Pittsburgh. Gotta refer back to it. Manny Sanguillen, who has long been a staple at Pirates games, as you can attest, Nick. He was not in. He was functioning well and looking good, but he was just not. He's not mobile anymore. Really, he certainly does have his struggles. Manny was Roberto's best friend, and likewise the other way. That to me is something I'd like to see for Manny and for his teammates is to see number 21 before they unfortunately pass. Baseball has a unfair history of doing things for people once they pass on. I would hate for any of them to not see 21 finally be retired. All the Pirates will be wearing 21 tomorrow. All players of Hispanic descent have the option to wear 21 tomorrow. Similar to what it was before we did 42 on Jackie Robinson Day. So like I said, hopefully sooner than later, but it's time. Retire 21.
Well said.
Thank you.
mean, he's the GOAT.
He is.
I still think McCutcheon's better, but
They don't have the.
Well,
they don't have a Clemente. They don't have a McCutcheon statue rather outside of PNC.
they should. McCutcheon was my Clemente that my dad and grandpa got to watch him play, but yeah, it's weird how they would do it. I hope they do it. Who comes up with this? Who decides this?
I don't know who at the MLB kind of does, but
Yeah, it's intriguing what they would do because there are a bunch of players that wear number 21 right now.
yeah.
And obviously,
But I mean, at the time there were still a lot of people wearing 42.
yeah, they
just do what they did, grandfather people, and if you're wearing 21, and that's something you still would like to do, then you can be grandfather like what they did with 42, right?
And Mariano.
Yeah. But once you retire, it's gone. I think that's the way to do it. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's beyond time. It's really something that should be done. I mean, next, not to be morbid, right? But next year, obviously it's later on in the year, but next year will be the 50th anniversary of his passing. Doing obviously something that he greatly known for, helping the people of Nicaragua. I'd hate. I mean, I just know the way baseball operates. I'd hate for it to be that. That's the reason why they do it, right? Is to do some sort of timeline thing with it being 50, and But, like I said, I don't know how they're gonna do it. Manfred's just a really weird individual, but like I said, I think the way they do it would have to be similar to the way they did with Jackie Robinson in 42.
I'm just trying to think what kind of is there any young hot stars that wear 21 right now that would be wearing it for a while? But
Walker Buehler wears 21.
The only 21 that always pops in my mind, Nick Markakis wore 21.
I'm trying to think of other ones off the top of my head. I mean, really, Buehler's the one that pops out.
No, it's got to be done.
It's really the only one that popping out, but yeah, it's time. It's time.
50 years would be cool to do it.
Yeah. I don't like the reason that they will frame it as, because that's just the way Manfred is, but
I always thought it was cool that he was the first guy and the only guy to not have to wait 5 years to get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Obviously the unfortunate reason why, but he does have that distinction. Obviously should have been 100%, but only got 92% of the vote.
Yeah. You got Jeter over here complaining.
Is what it is.
But yeah, it should be retired. So it's my favorite number. You think 14 would be my favorite number because it's my birthday, but it's my second favorite number. So 21 is my favorite, and it's because of him. Well, it was my dad's favorite number, and it was his birthday, but it was also because of Clemente. But it's because of Clemente. But yep, 21. It's a good number.
Whoa.
Yeah, retire it, and then we'll get 22. And then we'll start talking 22.
Well, 22 will be, just for the Pirates, but.
Oh, I'm thinking all baseball. I'm thinking of all sports.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine that. Someone's numbers retire of all sports.
Be nuts.
You must have done something. But,
all right. Well, that takes us to the end of the show. Thank everybody for tuning in. Nick, who are you shouting out today?
I'm shouting out your friend, and I guess my friend now, Nick Tabar. Shout out Nick Tabar.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting married this weekend.
Yep.
Paul's going to be there. He's in the wedding.
Yep.
I wish you the best wedding ever. And Paul, tell him I said hi.
Oh, yeah, you got
All right. Shout out Nick's Bar from Cleveland. Gannon alum.
Yep.
Class of 2016.
You're just going.
Indians fan.
You just know his stats.
Browns fan.
Yeah.
Big NASCAR fan, or you get him into it?
I'm will class him as big. He liked it before.
Okay. Shout out Nick's Bar.
All right. Well, if you guys haven't already, do the like, the share, and the subscribe for all of us. That helps us out, helps FL1 out, helps everybody out, right? Hopefully we have a pretty cool guest in studio again next week. We're hoping. Fingers crossed. But either way, we'll be back recapping football and everything else. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next week.